Sister Silvery, once again, it is a pleasure being here with you, having these discussions. And we are, of course, the major topic or the main point of the series is that of parental alienation. Now, one of the things with being a parent that everyone knows is punishment. And there's the school of thought that a child must be punished, and then there are those who say a child must experience physical punishment in order to be brought up correctly. Now, today's topic would be about whether physical punishment is necessary in order to bring up a child correctly. So I want to emphasize as well correctly, because there is obviously, if we look at adults, there is obviously a wrong way to grow up a child. And I don't know if that is linked to punishment or physical punishment. So let's start firstly. How should one punish a child in order that the child grows correctly?
Personally, and I would repeat, personally, I do not believe in punishment. I do not believe that anyone, for that matter of fact, has any authority to punish another individual. If a child, or if your child is not acting according to your rules or your demands, how you want them to, then you have to also look at yourself. Because children begins to learn from a very small age, and they learn from whatever they see. Some learn from whatever they hear. Some learn from some other individual. For example, a child may grow up in a certain way in the home, but when he or she go to school, he is seeing something totally different. He may learn it. So if your child come home one day and he begins to curse, for example, and you know that you did not teach your child to curse, but your child is cursing, or in your home no one curses, but your child has learned to curse, so you can question that child. Where did you learn to curse, or who taught you? And if he said, well, I learned it from school, then understand that it is not your child who is wrong or bad, but he has learned something from outside. And whatever he has learned from outside could be unlearned. Unlearned means, so this parent who now know or see or hear that his child has begun to curse, could sit with the child and tell him nicely that that is not a good practice. That wherever and whoever you learned it from, that those people are not good. And if the child is being taught, I believe, with love, with good understanding, the child will not go down the wrong path. But if children are being taught by abuse, under the influence of anger, for example, so your child did something wrong, so I have to spank him because he is wrong. But he did not know that he was wrong. Without you explaining to him that he was wrong, you begin to spank him. Who tell you to do that? The child doesn't even know what you're talking about. Where did you learn that? Did you ever sit and talk to your child and explain to him calmly, lovingly, that that is not good? To curse is not good, or to steal is not good. If you hear him steal, what you will do? Why did he do that? Licks. Do you know that each time you either spank your child or speak to your child under the influence of anger, for example, or aggressiveness, you are not actually teaching that child anything or correcting that child. But what you are doing is you are putting negativity and a pressure on that child's mind, that each time you spank that child is growing a hate towards you. And then it will reach a point where your child don't listen to you again. Why? You did not teach him anything. What were you doing? Punishing him for something he did wrong, which he did not understand at that time that it was wrong. So until you don't explain to them that what they were doing is wrong, and they understood clearly that it was wrong and change it, you as a mother or father have no right to spank that child, because a child has no understanding. Let's say a small baby now learning to walk. So the small child will start holding things and walking. Holding means they will look for support. But the child don't know that if he or she comes here and hold this for support, they could pull it, and whatever is on the top could fall and break. That child don't know that. But the child come holding whatever they can see on their way and walking. So child come and pull this cloth. And what did the parent do? Why did you do that? Did you explain to the child before that if he or she hold this cloth and pull it, then whatever is in the cloth will fall? Does a small child know those things? So without the child understanding, no parent have any right to punish a child. Physical punishment, or what they call it here, corporal punishment. I don't think any individual, for that matter of fact, has any authority to physically hurt or physically abuse anyone. Whether it is wife to husband or husband to wife, whether it is parent to child, whether it is brother, sister, whoever, no one has that authority. No one, for that matter of fact, should use any form of violence towards anyone. That is completely out of, let us call it, good living. Because where there is a proper living, proper understanding, there is no need, there should not be any kind of physical punishment for anyone. And so this question of punishment is not only physical, but I have seen and we have seen and know that parents could even abuse children, verbally abuse as a form of punishment. But if you want to correct a child, if you want to really punish a child, you don't really have to use physical punishment. You could tell him, okay, you did not do well in class, for example. You could improve, yes. If you did not do what I wanted you to do, okay, you're not going to get a new pair of shoes. This kind of punishment you can give. Reduce spending on him. Reduce giving him everything that he wants. This is the way you can punish them in order for them to learn. You don't give him everything that he wants. Give him less. And so he would realize that when he starts getting less, he would realize that he is not behaving well, so he does not deserve more than what he have. So there are other ways that you could correct situation without being physically violent, or as you said, physical punishment. And it goes to anyone. There are other ways that we could teach people or we could punish people without being violent to them. Just tell them, okay, you did not do well, or You did not do what I wanted you to do, so you're not going out with your friends today. You will see how fast they will do it. So there are many other ways that you could use to, let's say, punish instead of being violent.
Now you mentioned that the child learns this at home, or they may learn it at school when they start, let's say, interacting with the public. And by talking to the child and explaining to the child, and the child will be educated on how to choose wrong or right. But what about a child who is difficult? A child who does not want to listen to, let's say, for example, the child who learns something at school, but they do not want to listen to the parent at home and say, well, I have friends now and I am independent now, although they don't realize that they are still dependent. How do you discipline a child that is difficult?
Very good. So there's always a two-way thing. If my child don't want to listen to me, it means I have a problem. If I speak to my child sweetly, lovingly, why he would not want to listen? So it's how I speak to my child that he will listen. You understand? And if speaking to him, since he is small, I'm speaking to him in a harsh way, rough way, always angry, under anger, then of course he will not listen. But if he grow up being spoken to in a loving way, in a sweet way, then why will he not listen? So a child not wanting to listen to the parents, he is not all to be blamed. You have to look at yourself also. Where am I going wrong that my child today does not want to listen to me? Parents have a lot to check upon themselves also, or to correct also, to change. If they want to see their children listen to them, grow in the right way, it means they also have to be the same. They are their children's first teacher, you know. Parents are your first teachers. So however you are, this is the way your children will learn. If parents in the home are constantly arguing, for example, or constantly in some verbal, not very pleasant talking, there's arguments and so on, what are you teaching your child? So what do you expect your child to learn? So whatever he learned or whatever he know is what he saw you did. How can you blame that child? And then if you and your spouse are constantly arguing and quarreling and is never in a good relationship, in a good mood, once you are not in a good mood, it means you are not giving love to your child or to whoever is in the house, because you are never in a good mood. So this child now will then start seeking that love outside. And whoever gave him, he will naturally be drawn to that individual. It could be a grandparent, it could be an uncle, an aunt, a cousin, friend, whoever it may be. And so here this child who is not receiving the love and the attention and the appreciation in the home is now looking for it outside. That is the individual who he is going to listen to. So in the end, who are you going to blame? Because everyone wants to be loved, especially your child. Everyone wants love. Everyone wants to be loved. And if someone is not being treated with the love that they want, that they deserve, that they need, then they will definitely search for it somewhere else. And wherever they get it, they will go there. And that's the reason why also there are many young boys who join gangs. And they go and they search for their attention outside. Then they are being fed with not very positive information. Actually, once they go to the gangs put them against the parents and family, you know. They are being fed with all kind of revengeful thoughts. My mother did like this, she did not want me, she left me and went and taken some other man, and it's a longer story. So however you want your child to be, you have to show that child those values. You want your child to listen to you, you have to learn to listen to your child also. If the child commit a complaint from the school, I want to tell his mother, well, this is what he heard or what he saw his friend do. Our mother never have time because she's in her own world. Where you want the child to go? Who you want the child to talk to? So it's a lot. It entails a lot to bring up a child also. You have to be prepared mentally and emotionally to bring a child in this world and to grow that child to be a proper individual. It's not just bringing children into the world, you know. How you want your children to grow up. It means you have to be that to them first. You have to be that individual to reflect those values on your child. And if you did not have it, you don't even know about it, then what are you going to teach your child? Then how you expect your child to turn out? So preparing your mind also to bring a child. How are you going to treat that child? What you're going to give that child? Not only physical things, but even values. Today we see that once a parent could buy everything for their child, they're not able to spend time with their child as much. So child is with a maid. So, but the parents, whenever they come, they bring some gift for the child. Or buy clothes, or buy shoes, or buy this. So the child will think, okay, yes, their mother loved them, or their father loved them. But what those children need at that time is a parent's attention, parents' love, parents' care. And those material things cannot give you that. So even though they are receiving all the material things, they still have the desire to have the mother's love or the father's love. And any child who are brought up without getting that sufficient attention, love and care from their parents will start seeking that outside or from someone else. And that's why you hear today that, the children love their grandparents more than their own parents. And the grandparents give the children more love than the parents give them love. So they want to stay with their grandparents all the time. Why? Because children need love and attention. And if the parents are not able to give them, wherever they get it, they will go on. There is where they will be pulled to go to.
Now we are speaking about when a child is young, basically. So the infant and the young child, giving them this love and attention. And that if it is not done early, that this is where the child goes out. They seek friendships, so they seek relationships on the outside, be it with their peers or other family members. So then is there a point that you would say is, let's say, vital in teaching the child, and compared to, let's say, is there a time limit as to when a parent, or let's say a time span that a parent has to properly raise and discipline a child? Is it too late at a certain point?
It could be late at a certain point, because let's say that child did not get the love and attention and whatever, I would say, training or teachings that he need to grow up in the right way. And once you reach 10, 11, 12 years and realize that he's not getting the attention and the love or the guidance that he needs as a child, then is where he will start moving away from the parents. So yes, there is a time limit. But a child could start learning from a very, very young age. There are many stories, and I think nowadays there is more information and more knowledge about, the child starts learning from the time that child is in the mother's womb. You could start teaching that child from there. You start grooming that child from there. And when that child, that individual come out into the world, they already come with a certain form or certain degree of understanding. Because the soul in the womb can listen. Do you know that the child hears everything that the mother says? Everything that the mother hears, that child in the womb hears it. So that child is learning from, or even before he or she takes birth. So you can teach your child at any point. Even if a child is very young, you think that child won't understand anything, but that child can understand. Nowadays, we see children, babies born, and by the age of 1 and 2, they have an intelligence that no one expects. Very, very intelligent. Many, many children nowadays. They know so many things that you ask yourself, well, where did they learn that from? No one taught them in this birth. But they would have bring a lot of information from their past. And that information is now being revealed through the way that child speaks, the habits that that child have. We have seen many times on YouTube and all this internet that little children telling their parents they don't want to eat meat, for example. Where did they learn that from if their parents are eating meat? And they are telling their parents, I don't want to eat this. You cannot kill the animal, the pets that we love and give us to eat. Where did it get such intelligence? So many children, many babies bring some information with them that they start revealing at certain time when they could talk and they could act. And that might be very different to the desires or the upbringing of the parents. So how to train a child at what point, it depends. That will depend. Because you could have a certain desire to bring up your child in a certain way. But then that child starts growing up in his own way. And might be even better than the parent. So not all children need. You have to know to what extent you should go into your child's life also. Because if you see you have a very intelligent child and on his own, he doesn't even need someone to teach him maths or English or science. He has his own intelligence. Then you have to allow that child. He knows what he is about. And there are many, many mature children also, you know. Mature babies take birth. Who knows what they are or what they want, what they are about. Parents will be there to give them whatever sustenance, physical sustenance. But they have their own power also. So if a parent realizes or recognizes that, okay, this child is able to help himself and is able to carry on his own, doesn't need the parent so much, and the parent should not try to interfere in his or her life. But if you see the child is totally the contrary, which means he is doing the wrong things, he argue back, then that child needs more attention. Not the one who has good nature and good behavior. The one who does not have a good nature, good behavior, are the ones who need your attention more, because he will need more guidance. He needs more love. He needs more attention. So each child is different. To say exactly at what point or how much time or what age a parent should spend time with a child, it all depends on that child. So let's take the next few minutes to really reflect and think about ourselves. And for the next few minutes, I I create an inner conversation with myself. And I ask myself, do my thoughts, do my words, and do my behavior cause sorrow for others? Am I causing pain and hurt to others by the way I think, the way I speak, or the way I act? Are my spouse, my children happy with me? And what do I need to change in order for my loved ones to be happy with me? I take a minute or two and reflect. I reflect on my weaknesses. I see what I need to let go of, what I need to learn. And I begin to pay attention to myself a little more. Begin to realize that I have not and I do not give sufficient attention and love to my children and my spouse. I realize that I need to give more attention to my children in order to bring them up in the right way. In order for my child to grow and become a good citizen in the world, I need to be an example for him. I understand that my children see and learn from me, that I am their example. And so whatever I do, that is what they will learn. I realize I have to pay more attention to myself. Thank you.
By Sampex Limited, networking societies for a better future.